Hold on, before you close it. This is Jack's life right here. All he cares about, this is what I have to deal with this guy. It's like, hey man, you want to do some car videos? Oh yeah, cool, I got you more Porsches. Oh yeah, that's all we do here. It's Porsches and BMWs. Miss Johnny German. Oh, what's that? Another Porsche. Wow, stuff that people can't afford. Yeah. Well, guess what? It's quiet. And it will serve us well today for the introduction. There's some big news, guys. Huge news today, guys. God. Just incredible news, guys. If you sign up for my tuner crate tonight and subscribe and like... Oh, Jesus.
Incredible, Mark. Incredible.
Okay, this is not well thought out, but we're gonna... Okay, watch this happen. Watch this happen. Okay? Here we go. Here we go. Holy hell, look at that, boys. Oh yeah, this is what you signed up for. Yeah. Tighten her down. So, how's everybody doing today?
Charger, good sir.
Okay. Wow, this is just incredible. All right. We are in the Porsche Cayenne.
I will be reading, Mark, the questions from my phone, and we have Christopher Dong somewhere, and he will be moderating for us.
Christopher Dong. Big shout out to Christopher Dong. His name is Chinface in the chat. Please feel free to engage and send him some real spite.
Did we get married yet? That's the #1 question, Mark.
Okay. No, we didn't get married. How is the audio? Can somebody please provide me with this information before we get started?
All right, they say good, Mark.
Good, okay. I will focus on driving and answering some questions. We are in a twin-turbo V8 Porsche Cayenne Coupe. GTS. What's the retail value of this, Jack?
$165.
Okay.
As tested.
Okay, so $165,000. This is typically a lot less than what I'm used to. I'm not usually driving anything under $200,000.
Well, that PT Cruiser you have, Mark, is at least worth $350,000.
I have $200,000 into the PT, the custom fabric top.
Is it also houndstooth like this cabin
This
is?
guy, when we got into this,
He's like, oh my god, it's got houndstooth. Oh my god.
All right.
All right.
What do we got?
Here's the #1 question. Here's one of the questions. Why in the world would you drive a XC90 as a daily? I thought you hated SUVs, Mark.
I do. Okay, so the straight answer to the XC90 is I got it when COVID was, everything was locked down, and the dealership had this thing sitting there for 5 or 6 months, and I got it for almost, I think, $30,000 or $40,000 less than what it stickered for. And I have a 10-year unlimited mileage warranty on it. And I'm using it as a camera car because it has air ride. It has one of the best audio systems that we've tested, and it's basically just a hauler. There were other options, which included a bunch of cars that were not too practical, so that's kind of the real hauler because I have a bunch of impractical cars.
Okay. Next question is, where's Turbowski? I thought he was in the Marianas Trench working on an Equinox.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, he's working on an Equinox. It fell off of shipping. Like, they were shipping it to China, and then the boat sank. So he's down there trying to recover them and doing some brake lines on them at the bottom of the ocean. So
That's incredible. What's the favorite car you've owned?
I really enjoyed the Exige. I thought that was one of the coolest cars. My favorite car has always been the S2000. It's just the most enjoyable to drive.
This is a question from Redneck Lover 22. Thanks. I leased a 2020 Corolla XSE because of us. Oh, anyway, he's just thanking us for helping him get a Corolla. Well,
please contact me in 20 years when that car is still running.
Next question we got is from that washer nerd. Is Turbowski his real last name?
It is not. That was when we were shooting a video. I think it was our first video. I'm like, you got to have a fake name. What do you want it to be? And he just wrote it out on a piece of tape, and he stuck it on the bumper of the car. And I don't even know why, but that was his own idea, and it just stuck.
What is your favorite race car livery?
Probably one of the Martini liveries in Formula One.
Yeah.
I think that's like the classic. And Williams kind of kept that going. Like,
I thought you were going to say Planters Peanuts.
No, yeah, the Planters Peanuts livery is also one of my favorite.
Kevin asked this question, and if you're ever on Instagram and you want to see the most badass C7 and S2000, check out Kevin Burke on Instagram. C7 Global Time Attack livery, Tommy Bahama or New Balance?
How about both? You can have a 50-50.
Oh, dude, that would be incredible.
Dude,
you split it right down the middle like
you got a whole
Two-Face.
car to use, man. You can go both and make sure there's a lot of chrome. That's all I'm going to say.
Dominic Mitri, hopefully one of these days I can go to a track event. I agree. That's probably the best way to experience any of your car. Well, any car is on a track or at an autocross.
100%. 100% agreed.
I'm about to die here in a $165,000 car.
No, I'm just trying to straighten up this camera. It's really annoying me. Sorry. I just cut you off even more. Can you lean in, Jack? All right, there we go. Just lean in.
What is your favorite Mustang?
Mine?
Yeah.
T350.
I agree with you.
R.
Yeah, it's incredible. Favorite sounding race car?
I'll just probably 2009 era F1 V10s. Wait a second, no, that was V8s. The V10 era F1 car right before that, and then when they introduced the V8s, because I think they revved higher. I don't know, they just sounded amazing.
No, I agree with you. Formula One cars from that generation were incredible. Kyle Hernandez, what is the best family car around 35 grand? An enthusiast who doesn't want an SUV.
Oh God, so not an SUV or a car?
Not an SUV. It's got to be a car.
Probably an Accord. Accord with the Accord with a manual. I'm sure you can still find an Accord manual at that price, can't you?
Yeah, probably. Or if you could find one, get lucky and get a Charger Scat Pack with the V8.
Oh God, yeah, but
I mean, it's a shitbox.
Yeah, then you're gonna spend like $6 billion on
fuel.
gas every month. That's the problem. It's so much fun, but it's just not like a good.
Accord. You have the Accord. You prefer the Accord or the Camry?
I don't know, man. There's something wrong with the Camry V6. Like the engine tuning on it isn't right. That's one thing I can't really get over. It's a great car. It really is great. It's just if you drove the Accord in that back to back, I'd just take the Accord over like engine tuning.
Okay, fair enough. Hopefully that answers your question. I'm leaning towards the V8 proposition.
Of course you are.
Maybe a Golf R2. That'd be a good vehicle in that kind of price range. It's a little smaller though. What is the best car audio system in your opinion?
This lady isn't even fucking looking, dude. So the best audio system is the Bowers and the Volvo products for anything under 100,000. You have to go to the Burmeister with the advanced Burmeister 3D audio in the S-Class, and actually we're in one right now with the Burmeister with the Aura 3D.
Yeah, it's impressive, but it's also $8,000 option or close to it. So
yeah, the Bowers for the Volvo setups for $3,200 is the best thing you're gonna find.
The Levinson and the Lexus is very good for the money.
No, the high. You have to go to the LS 500, and the LC is too small of a space to really be fair. But the LS is really good. And the B&O and the upper end Audis are really good, but I would still.
And the value is the RDX ELS.
Yes, that's the value setup for sure.
What car event or race event do you want to attend but you have not? And that's from Drumpfman 2.
I always wanted to do either, which I wouldn't do anymore, the Monaco event for Formula One, just because it's like a checklist thing. I would also like to go to the Montreal Grand Prix.
I agree. Monaco would be high on the list of things I'd like to attend. On that note, and this is not really his question, but what series would you like to drive in? If you could do something once, what would you like to do motorsports related?
I would probably want to race in a series of the 911 GT3 Cup car. And I know that's not really, that's more of, to me, that would be the most attainable, and there's a ton of competition in it. So that would be my choice.
Perfect. For me would be, I would love to race in trophy truck.
Really?
Yeah, I think it'd be hilarious.
Wow.
Or I would love, genuinely something I'd want to do one of these days, do a real rally stage.
Okay.
Jeremy, supercharged BRZ or wait for a stock turbo?
Say that one more time.
Would you wait for the new BRZ with a turbo or supercharge a BRZ now?
The only thing you have going for the BRZ right now is you know everything you need to know about that car. So you have a huge leg up on aftermarket support. So,
but you always chase problems when you modify.
You're going to chase problems. I'm not saying that you wouldn't, but I would rather chase problems on a car that everything's been figured out on than chase a brand new setup. And
never be an early adopter.
No, don't. That's one thing with newer cars, and I've learned the painful lesson of that. Don't be an early adopter in new cars.
Taylor Robertson, thank you, Taylor, for the generous donation.
I also saw 2 questions I'm going to answer.
All right,
one,
perfect.
who's my favorite Formula One driver? I really liked Robert Kubica and Rubens Barrichello in the Formula One days. I have a lot of respect for Lewis Hamilton, even though a lot of people think he's a douche. I just like his background and like kind of how he was brought up by his dad in karting.
The story between his father and him is incredible.
I mean that's more of a rags to riches story there.
All right,
yeah, anyway,
Taylor, I have a G35 coupe with 134k miles. I either want to build a new motor and boost it, or an LS swap to do daily and track and hybrid. He wants LS swap or turbocharge his G35.
Oh my god.
If you're going to do one, I would turbocharge it over LS swapping, because all you run into is problems. Again, if you heavily modify your street car that you're going to drive every single day, it's going to be a bad time.
Yeah, dude, that's tough. I'm not even going to answer that because I don't think you should do either. But if you had to do one, don't take the motor out and have to deal with all the other shit. Try to kind of, how do I put this? Just carefully do a build on the existing motor and trans.
Royce Zaro asks, is Carol Crumpet your wife? No, she's my girlfriend. And then Taylor asks, what's the car that surprised you the most? Expected to be bad, but was good, or vice versa?
The AMG GT that we just drove, the GTC. I mean, I had driven the GTR on track and the GT on track, and I think I was really, really impressed at how much of like a near supercar that thing was. But I mean, it's got a lot of problems. So I mean, it surprised me in the fact that it was so incredibly capable. But that's this year.
All right, we just got a question from Vucered. Thank you for your donations. Thoughts on the Pontiac GTO, aka Holden Murano? What did you think of the GTO? The 6 liter is great. It's just kind of a weird car, and it's really heavy.
Yeah, it's just old. It has this 90s car feel to it. That's what I would say. It has this 90s car muscle. God damn it, dude. 90s car muscle car thing going for it. Great motor, great manual trans for it, and just kind of a sleeper.
Perfect. A gentleman just got his license, and he's looking at either a new Golf or a 2017 Mazda 3. What would you do?
Say that a Golf? Which Golf?
A regular Golf or Mazda 3?
Mazda 3.
All right, there you go. Because it's more reliable. Ascended, thank you for your $5 donation. Lewis Hamilton is great.
I mean, yeah, but the argument is Vettel and Hamilton all the time, or at least in this current generation. Now you have the younger drivers, of course, but I don't know. I just was always partial to Lewis for whatever reason.
JD Car Guy asked, Trump or Biden, don't wimp out. That was a $10 donation.
I'll give you your $10 back not to answer that question.
I agree. Vermin Supreme. I want to wear a boot in my head. Bear with me.
Yeah, the politics stuff doesn't mix well. I think
Cars are already divisive enough for people. The last thing I want to bring up is politics.
You bring up the politics, it's become so divisive, and it's almost like religion.
Yeah,
you want to argue about religion and politics, and it turns so many people off, and we live in a world that's consumed by politics. And now, it doesn't matter what side you're on with media. Media is so bad, left, right, in between. It like makes my stomach turn to see the shit that's going on both sides, and that's all I'm gonna say. I wish there was somebody, and this is what I will say about Trump and Biden. You know, I wish there was somebody that could do a better job at being more in the middle
and being inclusive,
and being not just inclusive, but finding a way to unite people. That tired, overused thing about United We Stand. We don't have any of that shit anymore, because that it's like that's almost no longer popular to unite people. And
I don't disagree with you.
To lead is just like whatever.
Smiles11 just asked, caught the ass, and thank you, Smiles. I caught the Easter egg drop on your GLC 43 video about the upcoming 992 video. When can we expect that? We get that car as a press car in about 2 weeks. I'm very excited for obvious reasons, because I'm John Porsche, and it's a manual, so you should be excited about that car. I don't know, probably another 2 weeks backlog after that to actually see the car, correct?
I think so, yeah. Yeah,
so
you'll
probably get it within a
I'm
month.
so far behind. I was supposed to have a video out today, and I just couldn't stomach. I'm editing the Tesla Model 3 video, and it's just, I can't stand it.
We have a huge backlog. We have a Z3M, Chevy SS, 4Runner in the run. We have a ton of car videos in the background.
Yeah, there's a lot. There's going to be a lot out this month, for sure.
So it should be a good month to watch, guys. Next question. What car is not available in the U.S. that you wish came here? And thank you, Assessio M. I do appreciate it.
Probably some shit, because I like some of the weird, like Japanese piles. So I wish we had some of their K cars and like their minivan piles. Oh my, because they're so funny and just whimsical. Always want, ever since Gran Turismo, this is the one car I always wanted to buy. I think Gran Turismo 2 or 3, the Daihatsu Midget. I would, the like pickup truck looking thing.
Good.
Oh my god, that would be amazing. Oh, yeah, but anything recent, I know we're getting a Yaris, which I'm sure somebody's commenting about. We're getting our own version of the Yaris, supposedly, but who knows what that's going to be like.
That one's hard for me. I'd really like, because I love Mad Max, the original Ford Falcon that he drove,
Oh,
the
God,
V8
yeah.
Interceptor, but honestly, probably a Type R, one of the original Type Rs from Japan.
Yeah, I mean, today, though,
Yeah.
I mean, it's hard because, you know, we don't follow so much, and this is no offense to the Europeans and other regions. Like, it's hard for us to follow all the cars that are in all the other markets.
I don't disagree.
And I don't even really know if there's something, like, what's that? Is it the Megane? That pile
Oh,
that's like
the front-wheel drive hot hatchback?
Yeah, that thing that's like break your back even worse than the RS. I'd want to drive
I
it
love
just
a Clio V6 with a
Oh,
mid-engine.
yeah.
Woman Respecter asked, thank you, Woman Respecter, for both being a hero to women and donating $5. Best sports car coupe for $60,000, new or used. Dedicated sports car, if you're going to track it all the time, C7. Horrible street car, but you're basically getting a GT3 performance that's going to be pretty reliable. And if you get a later model year for a Grand Sport, it's really fucking fast. And I'm biased because I own one, but it's not a great daily. What else?
Yeah, it's not. When Jack and I were on track, and I just had the Atom for the first couple times, and we were on the track at Autobahn full, I could not keep up with Jack and the Atom. And it's just so fast with not a lot of work. And if you do any amount of suspension and aero tweaks to the C7, that's the best value to go the fastest you possibly can around a track. It's just not the greatest street car.
Rev Match TV, thank you so much for your donation. The other cars that I'll pop up on that list of great sports cars under 60,000, GT350 if you have a really, really long warranty, because the motors go. What else on there? I don't want to only name two American piles, but
Just a Challenger.
Hellcats are fun.
With a manual trans.
Miata is on that list.
Yeah.
If you're okay with low horsepower, and a really clean S2000 would be right on the top of the list of fun sports cars.
Is there such a thing as a reliable $30,000 to $40,000 fun car? There is. You just have to go to the used market. I mean, the Type R, I don't know if people saw the announcement for the Type R limited edition. They priced that thing at $44,000.
Yeah, that's too much.
I mean, that's just insane. And on top of it, you're never going to get it for that at a dealership. So all these like cheap cars are just they don't exist. And that now, like the Veloster N. Veloster N's a really good example of a cheap, fun car, but in some ways it feels so cheap.
And you have the world's worst dealer.
Yeah, and they cost cut the shit out of it in so many ways. It's it sucks being, it sucks. You have to have a lot of money, disposable income to blow on cool
Sports
cars.
cars, yeah, because the consumable costs on all these V8 cars, I'm telling you, are horrible.
Yeah, they're way fun.
Ryan asked, and thank you, Ryan, for your $5 donation. The best way to financially support us: watch the videos, and then we're going to be doing a video coming up shortly about expanding on our Patreon channel, which we do have.
Yeah, the Patreon thing, you're going to see more coming up about that, and it's not just like trying to cash in on it, it's trying to revamp it and bring more value to it, and I just haven't had time to do it. But I want to try to get more to a crowd-funded model than relying completely on stupid advertisements and YouTube.
I agree.
So anyway.
Jeremy Tan, thank you for your donation. ISF M3 RS4 C63, greatest, least to greatest.
You say
RS4, M3, ISF, and I missed one. C63. What would you pick? M3's number one.
the new M3?
I imagine it's like the V8 generation. Oh yeah, let's go new M3.
You answer it. You're Mr. Johnny German.
M3 and RS4 are probably tied for the two best. C63 is right below that, and ISF is the bottom. ISF's the most reliable though, but to drive, I think it's the worst out of all four of them.
Yeah, you really gotta be Yakimoto Japanese to be super engaged in that car. Like, you gotta be a Japanese car fanboy to put that above the rest of them. And as much as I like that V8, the ISF
is the least exciting.
It's the least exciting to drive out of all those, but it's gonna last forever. So if you're gonna spend the money and want to keep something, then the ISF becomes the best.
David Front, thank you for the $5 donation. What are the top 3 most reliable 3-row crossovers for long term?
Highlander. It's the Highlander, absolutely. It's just the most boring. This is the thing, I talk about this a lot with the Sienna. Everybody talks about how the Sienna is like a 400,000 mile, easy, if it doesn't rot out. The Highlander is the same way. If you want to keep it forever, that's pretty much it. The Telluride and the Palisade have all the press and media right now because they are great, but long-term reliability, there's issues, that we were just talking about that today. Whatever, I'm not going to say anymore. Sorry.
Oh, no worries. I'm just trying to make sure I don't miss out on anyone's questions. But, I went to thank you, Joseph, for the $10 donation. I went to the Monaco GP in 2010. I had the seats of the harbor chicane. We had to take a ferry from Tabak. You can walk the track on Friday, and the Monaco Casino comes to supercar parking lot. Again, that sounds incredible.
Dude, I'm so jealous. That's exactly in the era that I wanted to go, and I was trying to figure out how to go with my dad because he was sick. He was kind of recovering from he was sick, and he was recovering from it. I'm like, this would be the ultimate trip. Because I was worried he was gonna, vanish into the netherworlds, but I just never got to do it. So
your dad is still around, though.
He's still around, yeah. Who can you post who won that year? Because I don't remember who won the Grand Prix that year.
Stas guy, thanks for your videos. Thoughts on the BMW i3?
Oh God.
I drove one once, and it was at CES, and it was. Actually, here's my story about that. So the gentleman who gave us the Z3, which we'll be seeing a video on, is Z3M, and the 911 Carrera that we have, that's a manual 997.2, uses an i3 as his delivery car. He has a bunch of chicken shit problems with it all the time, and he's used this as their work vehicle for years now. I think he's on number 2, but he likes it for what it is.
It's really well built. It's just, this is the problem with all these electric cars. They tried to do something vastly different, and I think that's a mistake right now, to try to go and make it all weird. It just didn't work well, and it doesn't have the range, and that's the bottom line. If you're getting an electric car right now, you're getting it because you want to replace a mainstream car, and that's where the i3 fails. Even though it's really well built, it feels well built, it's just too weird.
Evan EX Evan K. Now, if you didn't have your S2000, what car provides a great driving experience for 25 to 30K? Would you buy an AP2 S2000 or an ND Miata?
Say that again, because
AP2 S2000 or ND Miata.
If I couldn't find an S2000 right now, or I couldn't get one, I'd just get an ND2 Miata. I've been driving. I just drove one yesterday because we have one. We're doing a video. By the way, we had the thumbnail. We have the 86 TRD, which isn't really a true TRD. I have the S2000 that I just finally finished with, and the ND2, and we're doing kind of like a comparison track street, kind of like faster, not like a long form thing. Driving the ND2 yesterday, I'm like, damn, this car is just, it's like so good in so many ways that's what I would go for.
I do agree with you.
It needs
entirely.
some work. It does need some work. It's not perfect, but it's pretty damn good.
Am I nuts to expect modern cars to survive at least 400,000 miles? Trying to take my 06 Lexus IS 350 beyond that, currently at 200,000.
I think when we talk about cars lasting to that length
Oh,
of time
and
now,
thank you for your $15 donation.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, I think, I don't know why we keep having this discussion, and I think it's just there's so much truth to it. You know, you can say what you want about Toyota and Lexus being kind of weird and boring and like all
They
this
build
stuff.
cars
but,
to last, where everyone else builds them to lease, and after 5, 6, 7 years, they go in the junkyard.
yeah, I mean, they still have their issues, don't get me wrong, but I mean, from usually drivetrain perspective, they're just so solid.
Are we really driving through Arby's?
Dude, this is for the viewers, dude. This is the most request question. Can you go through Arby's drive-through? I get yesterday I checked my email. There were 600,000 email requests to go through Arby's drive-through. So I'm just following through on that.
Damn it. Jai Ming Chow, thank you for your $10 donation. He has a FD RX-7, 2005 S2000, and a 2015 STI, which is the best for track use. To modify for track use.
S2000. It's going to be the most reliable, but it'll be the slowest. Probably.
Yeah. IS300. Thoughts on the IS300? I guess it'd be like the early 2000s IS. What do you
I
think
never
of it?
liked the earlier two. I thought it was too small. I don't know. I never liked it because it always felt underwhelming to me. When that car first came here, when they launched it, you know, the Altezza thing was like a huge thing in Japan, and you had the high revving 4-popper, and then we got the V6, which should have been better, but it just didn't feel right, and I think part of it was like the trans for me.
I've never driven one, so I can't speak to it.
I don't know. I'd much rather have the IS 350 F Sport of the current generation. It just feels more.
I'd rather just have the E46 ZHP 330 because, well, I'm a BMW man. But
Yeah.
anyway, Barik, thanks for your $10 Canadian donation. Ascended, you just ordered an XC40. Did he make a horrible mistake?
Not if you have a warranty on it. I mean, I'm assuming you did the.
He leased or ordered one.
Oh yeah, their program where they cover everything, including insurance. Maybe.
I hope so. They're okay.
No, I really like the XC40. So I would compare the XC40 to like that Benz we just did. The Benz was surprisingly good, but I like the fact that the XC40 has the most character, and it's very original and feels very solid. I mean, if you're gonna get like one of those kind of cute utes, I'd still put that at the top. It's just the only thing that sucks with it is the ride quality isn't as good as it should be.
You will never know. Thank you for your $5 donation. Will you review the Nissan Titan? Is it a good used bargain?
We were supposed to do a Titan, and I kind of put it off because I was waiting for them to kind of like flesh out the first couple of years of it, of the the most recent one.
Because it's got the new engine. Honestly, I would. Is the Titan the big one or the little one? I can't remember.
No, the Titan's the big boy.
Yeah, because they put a Duramax. I've never driven one, so
Yeah, I mean, I haven't driven the new one, so I can't really say objectively like anything about it.
Any opinions or knowledge on the Mark 1 Audi TT? Do you think it'll be a future classic because he wants to buy one with 100,000 kilometers? I always hated that car. I know people say
it's like the bastard child of like all those cars that were out at that time. Hold on a second, we got something important here.
Oh my god.
No, we can donate $1 for American kids. Hey, how you doing?
All right, I'll answer some of these.
Can I get let's go for can I get 2 regulars?
Vladimir Volonsky. What would be the best
small
vehicle to tow
chocolate shake?
a track car to the track?
Large curly fries?
Tundra, GX 470, just something you know that isn't going to break. Joseph Herba said Mark 1, Weber 1.
Hold on a second, bro. I'm just trying to take care of business here. So 2 regulars, a large curly fry, and a small chocolate shake.
Oh my god.
Okay, anything else for you?
No, that's it. Thank you.
So you got a large curly fry and a small chocolate shake, is that it?
Did you get the 2 regulars? Regular roast beef?
Okay, would that be it?
Yeah, that's it.
Any sauce for you?
Yeah, can I get Arby sauce?
Okay, would you like to donate $1 to No Kids Hunger today?
Is it for American kids?
Yes.
All right, yeah.
God damn it.
What's it? Oh, donate $1 for American kids. What does that mean? It's a picture, like it's a picture of a black kid holding a basketball. What is? What? I don't even get it. I gotta find out what these American kids I'm donating to.
All right, let's go back through these.
Just give me my Arby's. Just give me
Private
my
throwaway.
roast
I'm
beef.
overseas right now. Should I import a Toyota Hilux Surf when I come back to the U.S.? I don't even know what that. Should he import a car?
Oh no!
All right,
It's a lot of it's a lot of hassle. If you've never done it before and you're not going through a good importer, I would not try it.
Vladimir, best vehicle to tow a truck. Tow a track car. I said Tundra or GX. Tundra. All right.
Tundra, yeah, because you know it's gonna work, but it's the least comfortable and most shitty to drive.
Trevor Sue and thank you, Trevor. Somebody asked us too. Manual GTI or Giulia TI, Oso versus the NC2 or ND1.
Say that again.
Manual GTI, Giulia TI, or a NC2 or a ND1 Miata.
Those are very different.
They are.
Okay.
I really like the GTI.
GTI is a true daily driver, is a fun car. NC2 Miata.
I would take the NC2 over the ND1.
Yeah, I don't like the ND1. Now that you've driven the ND2, it's kind of like, if you have it, great, but eventually you're gonna want an ND2.
Joseph Herabas said Mark Webber won, and he was the guy who went to Monaco. The yachts were barring their horns at the end are tons louder than the cars. I actually saw Jensen's dad waving to everybody from his yacht.
Oh my god.
Joseph Finley, thinking about buying a fun weekend car, 2-seater. Thoughts on the Triumph TR6? Right, I missed your English car because of my dad. I love the TR6. If you don't expect it to work, it'll be a good time. If you want something English that's modern that will probably work, get a F-Type. John McKenna, you guys are probably the best car program around, period. Appreciate your honest and unbiased insight. Review of the 10th Trend Civic SI is the reason I purchased it. Thank you. I will continue to support your channel. Thank you, John McKenna. He donated $20. I really appreciate it.
I appreciate that too, because we put a lot of work into trying to make.
Small chocolate shake, 2 roast beef classic Arby sauce.
You got it.
Alright, so $15.29.
Thank you. Sorry, yeah, we put a lot of work into trying to do all this technical stuff, and it is such a pain in the ass after a while. I wonder why we do
Alright, so
it.
here's a shake.
The gold.
This is for donating. There's a coupon for a free slider next time you come.
Oh man.
Oh my god, dude. The gold dude. Hyundai or Kia?
We're just waiting on the food.
Thank you.
Hyundai or Kia, Mark?
Hyundai or Kia is a brand?
Yeah.
It's the same shit.
Yeah. Yeah, you have the same problem.
All right, so I'll tell you my brief opinion on Hyundai and Kia. Kia is, I think.
So sauce, napkins, and a coupon in the bag.
Thank you, appreciate it. Kia has a better direction from the American side of like innovating and trying to do things differently. However, they have some of the worst dealership experiences, and internally they can't figure out how to handle it. So they got some interesting cars, and then you go to the dealership, and you're like, why am I here? And then Hyundai's just like, we're God. We have so much money. We can do whatever we want, and it doesn't matter.
And the dealers are still trash,
And the
too.
dealers are so trash. I don't know. I think they both are very, very forward. They just, I don't know. I feel like they just don't care about like
Because of the
customer
dealer
experience.
network, and if you're buying something cheap, you kind of expect to get burned anyway.
Yeah.
But if you're buying a more expensive Hyundai or Kia, I would just say no because the dealers are so horrible. Kool-Aid Man, I love muscle cars. Challenge your Mustang Camaro. Thank you for your $5 donation, by the way. But they're all expensive, unreliable trash heaps. Can't wait to own one when I'm 60. Challenger's the best street car. Mustang's the best compromise. Camaro's the best build.
Agreed.
All right. Thank you, Camus Dev Time, for the $5 donation. Sean Wang, sorry, Sean. GSF, Miata. God damn it.
By the way, I want to shout out thanks to all the American kids out there. I just donated $1 for those American kids.
God, this is like fucking horrible, dude.
Dude,
How
they're
do you
not-
eat this garbage?
You're not eating it right.
GSF, Miata RF GT, or new Supra? What's the most fun to drive? Or a GR Yaris? We haven't driven a GR Yaris, so I can't tell you.
I have no idea about the GR Yaris, but this new Supra cannot be beat for that price.
For 50, if it comes with a manual, the car's amazing.
Well, yeah, I forgot about that.
And the Miata is also great. It's just a lot of money for what you're getting. I love the Miata, but it's a lot of money.
Tesla Model Y, bro. All you need.
Sergey for $10. If you bought an ND1, what would be your first thing you changed or modified on the car?
The engine.
I would do Olin's.
Mm-hmm.
Olin's Road and Track. That car doesn't need anything. Yeah, the motor from the ND1 isn't great, but the Olin's Road and Track dampers will take that car to the next level.
All right,
and
let
tires.
me. It's actually Olin's. Just so
Olin's.
Everybody keeps calling it Olin's, and it's actually.
He's gonna
Olin's.
beat me after this, by the way.
The road and track, so the hardcore track people are like, oh, it's not good enough. It's not hard enough. But when you get on the street and you realize how much better it is than KW's and the fact that you can still use it on track, but it's more skewed a little bit more towards the street, it just changes the car so much. Anyway, go ahead.
Blue Kirby.
Yes, I'd buy a new Acura RDX. Sorry, go ahead.
What do you think of the Audi Q5? RDX is better.
Yeah, I'd probably take the RDX. I like the Audi products. I like the Q5 and the Q7 a lot.
No, I like them too, but the
Holy
problem.
shit. Turn down the lights.
Lewis C. Camry or Prius for 1 to 2 kid family. Traffic blows where I live. You don't?
Camry, just for
Camry.
comfort factor. I mean, if you don't really care about the fuel economy part, just get the Camry because it'll be way more usable.
Camus Dev Time. When you recorded the M Coupe review in the car one sideways, did you have to do a second take for the drone view, or was it only once?
I don't remember.
I think we had to do a second take. Normally, we have to do the drive several times to get all the angles. That's kind of the hidden magic behind what we do. So
I told you not to tell people that.
I know. Well, you're gonna beat me later.
Most of it's real time, but a lot of it has to be. There's no way you can get all the cameras mounted to hide the cameras. I mean, we hide a lot, but.
And you're looking at the whole crew. It's literally just the two of us.
Yeah.
And Chris Dong and some of our family members who decided
Big
to
shout
help.
out to Christopher Dong again. He's chin face on here.
Dan Knowles. Dan is always a hero of ours. Can you all recommend an aftermarket infotainment? Dan, you have my email and my phone number. Just reach out to me that way. But I would love to. We can.
Yeah, we got to touch tips, man.
Yeah, we'll touch base. Dan's asking for some aftermarket infotainment support. Send us an email directly, Dan, and I'll reach out to you. Rick LP, you're the reason I bought a new ZL1 1LE. I'm glad you like it, Rick. The ZL1 1LE is badass. And Igor, thank you so much for the $20.
Yeah, the ZL1 1LE continues to be, like, every time people actually get a hold of one of those and drive it, they're blown away by it. And it's like a car that defies logic, physics, all those things. It's just so capable. It's crazy.
B, how do you prevent people from putting your Atom into neutral and rolling it down a hill? I use handcuffs. They don't work very well.
Well, one, you don't take it anywhere because it's a pain in the ass. Two, you can't stop them. That car, yeah, you can take that car away with like 3 people.
Super Donkey, thank you for your $10 Canadian donation. Give it to me straight. I need a cheap YOLO swag car to impress Twitch thoughts.
Oh, yeah?
And what do you...
Probably a Jeep Wrangler, dude. I mean, what else is there? Or a Kia Soul for that certain demographic. Oh, you got to wrap the Kia Soul. If you wrap the Kia Soul in some like purple or pink, gold.
Sean Official for $10 Canadian. NA or NB Miata? What's the biggest difference between the two? Underneath, they're the same, basically. Right, the NB and NA. You can get the 1.8 in the NB all the time. The NA doesn't always get the 1.8. The 1.8 is the better engine, technically, because it makes more power. The NB gets tough bumpers, according to Ken Sayward, which was supposed to look like the Dodge Viper. I don't like the NB. I think the NA and the old Miata Escape is the more fun car.
What they fixed on the NB was the steering rack.
Yeah.
The steering was messed up. They couldn't fix it before the release of the car for the NA. So they're like, oh shit, well, I guess we'll have to wait to fix it in the NB. That's about the only thing that really feels better.
In every other way, I think it's worse. The way it looks, it's not as cool. I really don't like the way it looks. And other than that, and the steering's slightly better, I agree.
Yeah, they went away. That was just basically, how do we make this more marketable to Americans? That was the whole point of that car. It's very era-specific. And whatever, you may like that, I don't know.
Martin SC, would you buy a GTI or WRX?
I used to hate the GTI. I really used to hate it. And now I understand it more. But I think as a pure car that you could have that has more personality, the WRX just blows it away. It's just... The
GTI is a better car.
The GTI is a better car. The WRX has more personality.
I would buy the GTI.
I know you would. It is a better car.
so I don't know, whatever.
Dennis, thank you so much for the $30 donation. Mark doesn't actually drink. He's saying here's some beers for the drive.
I won't drink because
He just does black tar heroin instead.
yeah, I'm into more hardcore stuff than drinking. That's so like 70 years ago.
Here's his question. What's your favorite Linux distro? I'm not the IT guy.
Ubuntu.
Okay. Thank you again for the $30 donation, Dennis. Root Beer, first-time donator, long-time viewer. Any plans on reviewing the Mustang Mach-1 when it comes out? Root Beer, thank you again. Actually, our Ford rep is inviting us or trying to get us on the launch, and I'm really looking forward to that because obviously I have a soft spot for the S550 platform.
Oh, for the Mach 1?
Yeah.
Now you got me thinking about operating systems, dude. I just run FreeBSD command line.
Jan Bowell, thank you for the €5 donation. Home Cinemax 1 for the $10 donation. Could you do a show about how you would design the perfect infotainment based on your industry experience? Because I have a cringe way manufacturers do things.
How would I do it? That's a pretty long explanation.
But we should do a video on it, I agree.
Yeah.
What is wrong with current infotainment? In the wintertime when our videos slow down because we don't have all the cars, because we live in the Arctic tundra, we're planning on doing a lot more fine print. We have a lot of things planned for the winter that are a little less car reviewy, more like fine print and things like that.
What I will say is what makes a better infotainment is not what sells cars. So that's why you're seeing what's happening like in this.
They went away from physical controls, which are great, all to touch. Mm-hmm. And if anything, it makes it more confusing.
Yep.
Jason Bostrom, thank you for your $5 donation. Where's Acura headed in the future? Their current models are just boring garbage. I agree with you, everything's bad other than the RDX.
So they're trying to do what they did with the RDX with the TLX, the new one, and it's going to drive great. 100% it's going to drive great. All the shit that they did in the RDX with the body structure, they've never done before. It's just, again, it's typical Acura stuff. They put themselves in a box with, I don't think they know exactly what they want to do, and they're finally getting some direction. But where they make huge steps forward, they take huge steps back in just not understanding and listening to the people or their fan base.
I agree. I mean, if we ever do an NSX or planning on doing an old one, we'll tell you about the story behind why the current NSX is so not what you wanted.
Yeah.
And that's just the problem with Acura. Zach Silvera, I apologize, Zach. What do you think of the 2009 Audi A3 Sportback? I just got one as my first car. If that's the same thing as the Golf GTI, which would be the Mark 5 or Mark 6, they're fine. They're really good little cars. Just, VW problems with them not working.
I like the Sportback.
No, this is a 2009 A3.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right, sorry.
Great cars. My first car was a Mark 6 GTI, so they just don't work. That's the problem. They will break.
I guess if you're prepared for that. Some people have a higher tolerance. I think, that's the thing. Like what I went through with the S2000 this past week, if that was me when I was 24, it wouldn't even have fazed me. Like zero, I would have just been like, oh man, cool. And now it's something else to dig into. Now it's like something else.
Maybe because I'm actually like 50 underneath my 25-year-old body. When shit breaks, I don't have the patience for
And
it.
especially when shit breaks that you cause,
Yeah.
that you knew better about, it gets worse and worse. You gotta have a high threshold for like accepting that.
Tully 3674 for $5. RDX or Caddy XT4 RDX?
You're never gonna get me to say Cadillac over anything. I mean, honestly, I'm sorry. It's just you're never gonna ask me a straight GM question. I'm like, oh man, well,
I own a GM product and I would still get the RDX over it.
I'm not gonna say anything more because I don't want to piss the GM people off. I mean,
Zim Uzuri? Sorry, Zim, I'm screwing up your name. For $5. I love your videos. Would you even consider an RX-7 for a 19-year-old with any barely cash, or would you consider an RX-8? RX-8 for a 19-year-old with barely any cash. If you would, what year and mileage? If you are on a budget, an RX-8 is not a good option, because if you lose a motor, which you will, almost guaranteed, it's going to cost you a lot of money.
you don't get that as a daily driver, man. Don't get it as a daily driver. Get it as a fun weekend car if you can afford it, but...
William Long. Jack, can you tell us more about your background? Did you do any engineering work before you were doing video stuff with Mark? Yeah, my I had a lot of internships in engineering. Some life stuff happened with Carol Crumpet, where she's been trying to get into medical school. Thus, I've been doing this for the last year full time with Mark. But I am a mechanical engineer, and various internships.
This dude wants to work. After all this, he wants to work in the automotive industry. He doesn't get off on the whole YouTube lifestyle. We're in two different places.
Yeah, I mean, Mark
This
like
is
family to me.
This is a choice
yeah.
for me to do this and get out of my career to do this shit because I can do that.
And this is the beginning of my career.
Yeah, you want to build a real career when the internet bubble breaks again. You don't want to be left like broke.
Pretty much. Speaking of broke Erd said GM, and thank you for your donation, and hopefully that answered your question. If you find me on Instagram, I'll answer more questions for you. Broke Erd, GM and Honda just announced their alliance. Thoughts?
I think one of the first things that somebody was talking about with that alliance is the Saturn alliance they had, where Honda was dishing out their 3.5 liters for all their piles, and that was one of the things that made those Saturns so like sought after. But I don't know. I mean, this is the only way companies are going to survive. How do I feel about Honda joining forces with GM? I mean, what's the difference? I mean, if they're going to be able to make better products from a business perspective, I think it's good for them. But from like a car person, man, bad choice.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. Riman Mikhail said for $5, what about Real 7839? Come on, Dennis.
Say what?
You should be reading that.
I can't read shit while I'm driving.
Riman Mikhail for $5 asked, what about the Real 7 to 8? Come on, Dennis. I don't know what that means. I apologize.
I'm missing the reference.
I am too. Guardian XRX. What does Mazda need to get more in car sales?
Mazda needs to sell anything. They need to sell. Whatever they're doing with the CX-5 that's coming out,
Better be good.
it better be good, or they're in serious trouble.
Mazda's problem is they build objectively great cars, but they don't build cars that people want. The Mazda 3, great car, excellent car, probably one of the best in the segment. Too much money, too small.
Mm-hmm.
CX-5, now it's too old. CX-9 is too old. Miata, great car, no one buys them. I don't know what their answer is, but I know they're investing more in CVs.
Their answer is to merge with GM and just basically take the Chevy Trax architecture and just scale that out.
In about 4 or 5 minutes, just letting you guys know. No, when are we extending it to? 6:40?
We have 13 minutes left.
Okay, perfect. So thank you for all your donations. Please stop donating, otherwise we won't be able to answer them.
Yeah, I would say we'll tell you when to cut it off, unless you just want to donate and not get your answer or your question answered.
I'll do my best to, again, if you've donated so far and I forgot an answer, reach out to us on Instagram or our contact email, which is just contact@savageeast.com.
Okay.
Max for $2. Don't be stupid, Mark. Just buy a Mac instead of your Dell garbage. I own Macs.
This guy's Johnny Mac over here.
Yeah, he's like, fuck you, Jack. You have your white cables everywhere.
Well, Deb from Andy the Lab, she just did her first computer build, which was supposedly $30,000. $30,000 to build this insane gaming PC. And she has like 280 gigs of RAM in this thing. So I messaged her today. I told her, that fucking computer has more RAM than our database servers had for like data warehousing. Like, what are you going to do with that thing? And she tells me, well, she didn't say this, but she said on the video, I edit with a Mac. I'm like, you got this thing that's 30,000, you don't even edit with it? Jack?
Yeah?
Get off the Mac bandwagon, dude.
I'm reading your questions.
Yeah, I'm going to hide here right now.
RDX or CX-5 Turbo for a crossover that isn't totally soulless? And would the adaptive dampers be worth it on the RDX?
The adaptive dampers are absolutely worth it on the RDX because it transforms your driving experience from... Oh!
When's Jack getting deported? All right, we'll answer that question later. RDX over CX-5. CX-5's too old. The current RDX is a better car.
Indeed.
Lint Kid. Love everything you guys do. The original Hellcat opening B-roll made me forget to breathe. Could have been used in an official ad spot. Thank you. Our current relationship with FCA has been is interesting.
It's
But
tarnished because I can't keep my mouth shut about how shitty their interiors are, and they don't want to hear it anymore.
yeah, and it's sad because, you know, I really like a lot of the guys there. They're some of the nicest people in the industry, and their cars are objectively... Oh, I can't believe you're about to eat that.
Dude, you got just say finish what you're gonna say, and then I'll.
Are objectively flawed, but have some of the most character. Honestly, I would prefer the Hellcat. I would buy a Hellcat over a C8.
I would too. I'm not kidding. Yeah, the current Hellcat with a manual, especially, is hilarious. This is for you guys. Just take a look at it. Oh my God, I'm making a difference right now. Let's get
Vincent Tree 23. What do you think of the new SQ7, SQ8, S6, and S7?
amazing.
Actually,
I really like them a lot. As a luxury product,
they're better than modern BMW now.
yeah, they are because they ride well, and then we're sitting in basically an evolution. The highest level version of those cars right now is the Cayenne Coupe, because you have
This is
to have a coupe.
if I can't remember, MLB architecture.
MQB.
MQB.
No, MLB.
MLB.
Major League Baseball. Yeah, this is everything that this architecture could possibly be. It's it's crazy how
Yeah,
good
the Cayenne
this thing
is
is.
really
Yeah.
good, and the Q7 and SQ7, SQ8 have a derivative of this 4-liter twin-turbo V8. I haven't driven one, but I have to imagine they're badass. And the S6 and S7 are great. BMW is in big trouble because Audi makes some really good cars now.
Yeah, absolutely, and it's great because we're talking about cars that nobody's ever going to buy or can afford at 100. Whatever this is. What is this? 165.
165. Igor Glotov, 540i or E450 sedan. If it's like E39 or E60 generation, I would. I don't know. It'd have to be E39 because they don't make a. No, I guess the 540 is modern now, right? Would you buy a Mercedes E-Class or a 540? Because the 540 would be the 6-cylinder.
540.
Yeah, I would too.
I don't know. Yeah, 540. That's like the sedan market like that until you go in the high end. It's like with BMW.
I would agree. And then once you get to the high end, like the S6 and the S7s, you start looking at like the E6, E3, or the RS7 or S7 range. Squeaks McChair, ISF or M235i X-Drive. The M235i X-Drive, if it's the rear-wheel drive variant, is a lot of fun, but it's not a V8. Like because they make an M235i Grand Coupe, which is front-wheel drive. Remember?
Mm-hmm.
What would you think? And he lives in Chicago.
I'm letting you take that one, dude. I'm too involved in this, saving these kids.
ISF is really reliable. Obviously, I have my problems with that car. Rear-wheel drive in the winter, if you have snow tires, which you have to, is not bad at all. The M235i X is great because you can get a manual. If you can get a manual, I'd get the manual car always, and I'd get the BMW. Fair?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Thoughts on a Teal Type S? Might get it. The Teal Type S with the manual is amazing.
My dad keeps calling.
Oh my god.
He keeps calling. Doesn't he know that
That you're making art?
I'm saving kids, Dad?
Thoughts on the Teal Type S?
TL Type S.
No, with the manual, it's amazing. That generation.
Which generation?
2007.
06? Yeah. Yeah, the one that, because it had LSD, the Accord variants didn't have it, and that's what turned that thing into a turd. So the TLs were really good of that generation.
Yeah, they're amazing. There's just a ton of money now. A good one's
they
like
rot out.
yeah, a good one's like 20, 25, even 30 grand. I've seen. It's a lot of money for that car. All right. Nurmit Shakula asked Polestar 2 review anytime soon. I'm trying to get through these things quickly, man.
I will ask for it. I really want to drive it, and one of the main reasons I want to drive it is the infotainment. It's the first Google automotive infotainment, so that has the biggest promise of being usable. Anyway, go ahead.
Adrian Quizita, what are both of your unicorn cars you'd like to review, or something coming down the pipeline from a manufacturer? Please tell me you got the cheese sticks from Arby. This guy's lactose intolerant.
Dude, I shouldn't be touching dairy, and I'm having a shake, so that means I'm on borrowed time. Like unicorn cars,
LFA.
we actually have one that we're going to be doing an LFA, supposedly, and
We'll see if it happens.
we don't have the date locked in, but we have the approval to do it. So
LFA, 4GT, not the turbocharged variant, but the supercharged 4GT, and a Stinger are high up on the list. Singer are high up on the list of things I'd like to do.
I don't really have anything besides the LFA. Maybe the T50.
No, you do. Nissan Murano Cross Cabriolet.
Oh yeah, so I wanted to buy a Nissan Murano Cross Cabriolet just as a joke, And then I looked at the prices. There's like none in the U.S. Well, there are some, but there's not a lot. And they're very expensive. And I'm like, I'm not spending $11,000 as a joke and then being suffered through trying to sell that thing for like a year.
Kevin Markman, looking for a fun weekend canyon carver, no track use under 60K. Considering an S2000, Alpha 4C, Miata, or Cayman. Specialness is Alpha and Miata, I think.
The Alpha is...
Alpha and the Cayman.
The 4C is one of those cars that I think a lot of people should drive once because it's the most unique thing to have come out since like the old Exige and Elises. It's so fun to drive, even though it's this 4-cylinder is like it needs to be retuned. I would say the 4C is a must own at least once for a short period, and then the Cayman is just like, that's like saying I'm gonna buy a pair of sweatpants with a Cayman. You know, like
The
it's
Cayman
gonna be comfortable,
GTS
it's
is
gonna work.
a great car. It's a Cayman. I love it.
Right.
But I don't know, the 4C.
It's the Porsche problem. They just feel like you understand why they're so good, but there's just it's very, very plain Jane. I don't know what it is about them.
But you know it's good, and it'll always be good.
Yeah, no,
So,
I agree with that.
Welton Reds donated $50, so thank you very, very much, Welton.
Why?
Because he wants you to get naked.
Hey, bro, let me show you something. Let's see if I got something that'll save you. Right?
Hugo Alfaro, Z4M Coupe or 996 C4S.
You answer that. I'm gonna do something for him for 50
As much as I like the 996 C4S, the Z4M Coupe, we were actually just talking about this the other day, is, oh my god, dude, is brilliant.
Oh, I'm saving the children. Oh my god, look at my meaty lips. Oh yeah.
God damn it, dude. The Z4M Coupe, we were talking about it. If you had like an intake on that car, it's probably one of the best modern BMWs, period, M cars that we've done. We've done almost every M car, and the Z4M we both agree is one of our favorites, right?
Yeah, I would say so. Yeah, the Z4M that we just did. I think James has one for sale in the local dealership. It looked mint. Did you see that?
No, I didn't.
Check it out. You probably bust one over it.
Cheyenne Hosan just asked if you could review any car not sold in the U.S. currently, like the Honda E, what would it be? Currently sold.
That Honda?
Yeah.
The little one that just got crashed, the first one that was all over the media. Oh my god, a Honda E got crashed. First one. Yeah, I'd love to drive that.
What else?
Um,
Alpina?
yeah, that's right. Everybody talks about
Alpine,
Yeah,
or whatever
I
it's
think
called.
it's Alpina.
Alpina.
Um,
How much have you made in donations so far from this live stream? $5 is how much we've made.
it actually tells you now. Look at the top.
Oh, wow.
So yeah, now it's telling us it's at 645, and I know that sounds absolutely crazy, and it is, and I think it goes to show that people are very, very
Generous.
and I'm not going to say much more than that, but other than it, we really appreciate that.
No, genuine.
We're taking the time to do it, and of course, this is not. It's not for the money. It's about connect. It's like our meetup that we just did with Chicago Auto Pros. It was so nice to get out and not be
And
behind a
genuinely
computer
meet people.
and talk about cars and talk about that. And that's why I love this stuff. I mean, I like making videos too, but a lot of it is connecting with
The
people.
fact that people, hopefully someone somewhere, and like you and I know we're not important.
Right, yeah.
We're not important.
Yeah,
we're not
absolutely.
celebrities. We're not anything like that. But the fact that people find value in what we do, and hopefully they make a good buying decision because of us, is very nice.
If there's something you can learn or get out of it, or something that you get out of the connection, there's a huge value to that. So, and there's so many things that I watch that I appreciate too. So I try to support people as much as I
The
can.
Straight Pipes, Andy the Lab, Gears and Gasoline. Who else do we watch? Speed Academy is spectacular. Those guys are some of the nicest people. I highly suggest you support them.
In your group.
God damn it. Andy the Lab asked, when is Jack getting deported? I want to see his Savage Geese diss track where he makes fun of all the auto YouTubers.
Oh God, once I am burned out with this, and everything
Oh,
is
you're going to
done.
be dead in like 2 weeks.
I'm gonna be dead. Yeah, somebody was mentioning about my coffin. If they're gonna play this live stream at my funeral, so yeah, everybody jokes around.
It's
I'm
going to be
have
piano black.
A piano black coffin. The guest book at my funeral is gonna be all touchscreen. There's not gonna be any door handles. You're gonna have to swipe to open doors and shit. But yeah, can you check your text?
Yeah, sure.
Sorry. Because I think Joe messaged you something. I don't want to have it play out loud.
No, that's nothing.
Okay, all right. Everybody keeps asking. I mean, this is the last time I'm going to answer this one. Okay.
All right.
What happened to Turbowski? We're at 59 minutes, and we're cutting this off in 2 minutes. Turbowski is doing his thing, and I'm doing my thing. There's no way that this would work when two people have two separate full-time jobs, and that's just it. This is more than a full-time job, and
It's legitimately 7 days a week. That's how
Jack-
often we're doing this.
Jack does this 7 days a week, and he's desperate. That's why. If he had the opportunity to get an engineering job tomorrow, a real job, I would never hear from this guy again.
All right, we're going to run into the cut-in
Okay.
real... Jesus, smart. We're going to run through the cut-in real quick. Red Panda Hero, love all the cars. I just got a real job. Thank you for supporting us for the $10. Should I get an E30, a GSR Integra, E36, E46, 08 TSX, G35, IS300, or STI 04 to 07?
Holy shit, that's a lot.
Yeah. 08 TSX is a great daily. The GSR Integra is spectacular. I do not like the E36 BMW. The E46 330i ZHP, if you can find one low miles, is amazing. G35 rots out, but it's fun to drive. IS300 you don't like. 04 to 07 STI is...
Yes, that's a good one. The GSR you're never going to find that's not a rust bucket or beat to shit that hasn't had 65,000 different engine swaps. Although that would be the most fun.
No, I agree.
You get a GSR, mod it just a little bit, put the hugest short air intake that sticks out of the hood, so that's all you hear is...
What are your thoughts on the 9th generation Civic Si? I just bought one in January.
So the
9th...
Yeah, the drivetrain and the Atom is the 9th Gen Civic.
It's okay.
I don't know. I was a big fan of the 8th Gen Civic, and it kind of was like... I feel like that generation Civic was one of the most refined ones. It just lacked a lot of character exterior until they did the refresh. So I think it's a car that's going to last forever, but it definitely has more eco roots than any of the other Hondas. But having 345 horsepower in that motor with a turbo, and you can see how stout it is.
The motor is great. I just think
it
that
really
was like
is.
the one that Honda didn't seem to
Yeah,
care
Honda
about.
was like, oh, we're going to make it cheap. The economy's bad. Let's just shortcut it. And then, they fixed it later. But I would rather have that body style is kind of like more normal than it is than this fucking current
this generation
is
is horribly ugly.
They're like, oh, shit. People are complaining
Great
about
car,
how-
but horribly ugly, in my opinion, at least. Welton, thank you again for the $50 donation. I really do appreciate it. David Flynn, what are your thoughts? Oh, no. Yeah. Maurice Motors. If you had to get a mid-size truck, what truck would you guys get? If you want it to last, the Tundra. We say that all the time.
Mid-size truck? Like mid-size. You're talking about
Let's
the
go.
Tacoma.
Oh, yeah, the Tacoma over the Colorado. I like the Gladiator a lot, but it's just not good to drive every day.
Yeah, I mean, why are you buying a truck? You're buying a truck so it's going to work, right? Am I mistaken in that regard that you're using it for a pure functionality and you're not just buying it because of it's a truck? So in that case, I would buy a Tacoma, even though I can't stand driving the Tacoma. It sucks. It's like the Tundra sucks to drive. It's like, how can they make it so bad, but it's the one that I know that's going to work all the time. Anyway, that's what I'm going to say about it. If you want the most comfortable one, I think the Colorado is really comfortable. It's super refined. Anyway, we're cutting off everything.
There's a couple more I'll do
Okay,
real quick.
so don't
Please don't ask any
don't-
more questions.
Don't pay anything. Don't just be yourself, okay? We're saving kids on this. Saving kids on this commentary.
Okay. Have you thought about doing reviews on the worst cars made,
Thank
starting with the Dodge?
Patreon supporter. Thanks, bro.
Thank you very much. On
Nice.
the Dodge Neon.
I want to do worst cars.
We want to do see, the problem, we wanted to do a Chevy Trax video. I got us one. But if we did one on a car that currently is manufactured, we'd never get a car again. If we just did a comical video.
This is what happens when you start to do this, and the bigger you get. When you are getting pressed cars, and you want to be yourself, I constantly hear this from brand reps. You're too edgy. It's too risky. And then, you can't have any fun. So that means now that I have to go back and buy these piles or borrow them or something. It's such a pain in the ass. It gets so old. But yeah, I want to do like worst cars, and I would put a Trax and an EcoSport on there for sure. I mean,
I'd love to do and that's the problem, right? Like Mark handles all the creative. I try to do the day-to-day, answering emails, business, chasing down reps, talking to people, and then filming as well. And that the reality is the reason manufacturers give us cars is to help them sell cars. And we're trying to find that area where we can still be honest and give you actual consumer advice without totally selling out, but not selling out is really hurting us as well.
Yeah, that's one of the biggest things. It's way to grow in this, you have to just basically gloss over everything. You have to change your mindset to be like, you have to get into the PR speak of everything. PR speak. Oh, well, that's pretty neat. That's
we
nice.
called the Charger and Challenger a modern classic, and they're unhappy because
See, they only focus on
the negative. That's all you hear.
I called the Hellcat, and granted, that's really not fair, that video, because that wasn't what really caused it. But I was talking about penis pumps and stuff in that Hellcat video, and I popped out of the trunk with a hamburger hat. But at the end, I said the Hellcat is going to be a future classic when, you can get a really clean example when all the V8s are gone. But they get fixated on the one thing, and that is, what did I say that's negative? That's all they care about. That's what all the brands care about. If you don't give them a heads up, if there's something wrong before you say it, it's all PR. It's all controlling messaging. And that's the corporate world of all this shit. These are not cheap, right? These are not cheap products. It's not like, oh, bro, check out my watch or check out my shoes that
we
are $60.
can't get these cars without manufacturer support. And
that's the truth of it.
if they don't like what you're doing, they won't give you a car. We couldn't go out and buy every single one of these cars. The older vehicles, we rely on viewers and businesses that support us outside of the OEMs.
And you still have to be careful with that. I mean, like,
a viewer car is 1,000 times worse to do.
it is.
We have insurance, we have all the stuff, but you're entrusting us to give us a car. I don't want to drive that car ever because I'm worried about damaging it. I don't want to get rock chips. I don't want to do any damage to a car that you're entrusting with us. It's 1,000 times worse. And then I want to make sure you get something out of it as well, which is the viewer, the person giving us a car. So it's very difficult.
And it's very difficult. Like, we just had this issue doing this LFA project, right? The owner of the LFA, he's like, I watched your LC500 video and I just cringed the whole time every time you hit the rev limiter. So, and I get it, I understand it, and I tried to explain why I did it. And then in this explanation, I started thinking more about the whole point of us getting media cars that are purchased by manufacturers is to test them, to drive them like nobody would, to dig into the electronics, to dig into all this stuff, the technical shit that nobody else does. So, yes, I'm going to drive a press car more in a more widely different environments, harder, softer, in different ways, brakes, steering, all that, than I would my own car. I don't have to go out and drive my car like 10 tenths and to try to figure out all this stuff. But with the press cars, I can. That's one of the few perks of doing something like this.
Apparently, we missed a question from Joseph Finley as well.
Okay.
I apologize. Please re-ask it, Joseph. Again, I'm sorry for missing your question.
Anyway, my rant is just, these are media cars. They are not personal owner cars. They are not my cars. And no, I would never drive somebody's own car like that sometimes, or I would never drive my own car. But we are testing these to find the limits of what they're capable of. And that's how it is. They're going to get destroyed or sold off. So if I go bang off a rev limiter on an LC500, and not once did we have a check engine light. Not once did we overheat the motor. Not once.
Like the AMG GT.
Yeah, we had a problem with the AMG GT. We had a problem with one of the Porsches with trans overheating. I mean, it's just, like, I don't know what you're supposed to do. The viewers complain. The people that are watching, like the people that want to give you cars, the OEMs complain. It's like, I think you just have to get to a place where you turn some of the shit off and just do what you're doing and be aware. But this is all gets just so stupid after a while. The whole whatever.
Moving on from your rant.
Sorry.
I have a 2016 Golf R that's done 60,000 kilometers. Burns a little oil at a stable rate since the car was new. Should I keep it long term? If you don't have Golf R.
Golf R. Did you try changing your oil in it? What is it? 530?
He's had it for 60,000 kilometers. So.
Oh, that's a lot.
Oh, not really.
Well, I mean, it's.
I don't know. I would get rid of that car once it's out of warranty.
I would too. Agreed. I would.
Volkswagen Audi Group products.
If you're running an eco oil or a thin oil, try switching to like
a thicker oil.
A Group 5. Like a Group 5's an expensive oil. I don't care what brand. Put in a Group 5. That's if you're running 0-20, go up to 530 and see if you're still having a problem with oil burning, because sometimes some of that could be carbon buildup, because we talk about this burning oil with ring packs getting kind of stuck, or there's a ring pack on the piston, and some of those from carbon buildup on these motors can start to stick and you'll burn more oil from that. So since it's a VW, I would say try switching an oil.
If you run to a thicker oil and you still run into burning oil issues, I would maybe consider getting rid of that car.
Yeah, you definitely.
Daniel Arnett for $5 told you the Cubs suck.
Don't worry about that, bro. You don't have to worry about me on the Cubs angle.
Papazuki for $5 asks, how long should I keep my 2013 E92 335i? I have 70,000 miles on it.
As long as it's running, dude, keep it.
Yeah, if it's paid off and you don't have too many problems with it, I would just keep it.
Yeah.
Sooner or later, you're going to run into that problem with older cars, that the amount you're dumping into it is not worth it. It's up to you to determine that, but if you've had pretty good luck with it, don't worry about it.
Cars are not a logical decision.
No.
You have a car payment, that's bad. If you're in the hole for $10,000, $20,000, $30,000 on a car and it's giving you a problem, you shouldn't have it. But if you have a car that's paid off and you're not having problems with it, and you're not paying anything on it, set some money aside if you really like it, and just fix the shit that goes wrong. Unless the thing's a total fucking rust bucket, or you're constantly having issues with it. There's so much freedom to have a car that you don't owe on. That is the ideal way to do things, but shit's so expensive that most of us can't.
Bear with me.
Dude, I got my hair appointment in like 10 minutes.
Yeah, I know, Mark. And then I have our call with our new Amex Black Card sponsorship. Now that we hit 400,000 subscribers.
We were supposed to do a live stream when we hit 401,000 subscribers for our 401k that we're announcing. So, we kind of blew that. So now we're gonna have to ditch our whole investment strategy.
Yeah, right.
Is there anything else, bro?
I'm going through. Someone told me, Jason was like, "How dare you tell me not to donate for $5?" Well, thank you, Jason, but you shouldn't have donated.
That's rude. Thoughts on the new S-Class? Oh, I love the screens. Just love them. Just love those screens, bro. Gotta have more. I want to touch everything. I want everything covered in fingerprints. But I get a fingerprint, I can clean it off. I'm just lazy. I'm just dirty. I'm a gross person because I have fingerprints and I don't clean this stuff. I don't want to clean my fucking car screens every day.
Well, everything is going to be piano black in the next car I designed for you.
God!
All right, I'm going to go through the last couple questions, and if there's anything that you really want answered, that's important. I will do my best to go through the contact emails, forward them to Mark, answer them myself. Reach out to us on Instagram via DMs if you really want something answered. Genuinely, we do try to answer things. It's just the two of us.
Yeah.
So it's been interesting.
Yeah.
What do you think of the new S-Class in all seriousness?
I did. I just said, dude, I don't fucking know. Look at that thing. It's another expensive luxury car with so much tech on it. It's more tech than a car.
F-Type review. That's all me.
That's Jack.
I love the F-Type. We just drove a brand new one. Sadly, the JLR has no money and didn't want to bring us the new V8. But I drove the previous gen quite a bit. I love that car. It's basically what you like in the LC500. Loud,
Great, yeah.
Sounds great, looks spectacular. Congratulations.
This car doesn't have the smoker's package?
Oh, I know.
I like 20,000 for this thing.
997 or GT350? 997 Turbo or GT350?
GT350. And then have a couple spare motors in the garage.
Last question I'm going to have
Is somebody honking at me?
No, sorry.
Oh my god, I'm sorry.
Mazda 3 Turbo, what are your thoughts?
Oh my god. Mazda 3 Turbo, thoughts?
Yeah.
It's not a Mazda Speed product, because that's what everybody's asking. Is it a Mazda Speed? No, and I'll tell you the short answer of why. That lady was not happy with me.
She was a Karen.
Well, she has a Kia too. Sorento?
Probably.
Yeah, so here's the thing. Mazda has a problem internally with the Mazda Speed brand. And
because it was from Ford.
Because it was from the Ford era and the Japanese, and they can't use the term speed out of the United States market. There's certain people that think it should exist, while the Japanese market does not want that. The Japanese side of Mazda believes in the whole premium approach, and that's where they're going. So they will not have a Mazda Speed Miata based on their current management and approach of cars. So they're going to do everything but that and try to make this like a smoother, like luxurious, turbocharged normal car.
And again, Jason Townsend, I'm sorry if we missed one of your questions. I apologize. He was the gentleman who asked about the British Roadster.
Oh, okay.
And then he also asked about Turbowski, which if you go back into our live stream, Mark answers that question as well. Other than that,
Yeah, there will be a video on the S2000 Part 3. There will be a video about why I bought a Volvo and all that stuff that goes with it and all the shit.
we just finished a paint correction video, a fine print video on that.
Yeah, we
have the Chevy SS video coming out, Z3M. We have a 997 Carrera video coming out.
the LFA video, hopefully in September.
Carrera S 992 video. We have 2 Cayenne videos coming out back to back, a Cayenne S Coupe and a Cayenne GTS.
The car that we're in.
The car that we're in. We have an AMG GT video coming out. We have a 4Runner video coming out. And no one missing something else.
The S2000 Miata and F86 comparison video. And the Tesla Model 3 video.
Which will be Monday.
If I can finish it. Every time I go to my computer and I see the editing timeline for the Model 3, I'm like, yeah, I think I'm gonna go scratch my nuts. I'll do it. I feel like I just want to do anything else but edit that video together.
GT500 video, that's coming out as well. The problem is, so we shot the street drive that car needs a track portion. We're relying on Houndstooth.
Yeah, somebody commented on Houndstooth. This is Jack's.
We're relying on Extreme Experience has been very generous. They'll lend us a GT500, but they keep breaking theirs because all they do is sit them on the track.
Well, that didn't happen, Jack. So we're not going to talk about that.
Yeah, all right, fair enough. Last question that's been asked a bunch of times. Why haven't we done a Jeep Cherokee video?
Didn't we do a Jeep Cherokee video?
No, we never did we did a Trackhawk.
Oh, the Cherokee, the real Cherokee. I don't think it's ever been in the fleet because it's so old. Are they going to refresh that?
Yeah, they are.
Okay.
So, all right, I guess other than that, thank you guys for watching as we get killed by a Karen in a Kia Sorento.
No, she's going back in her house. She's probably getting her shotgun out. Like, what was that? Wasn't it like a protest where those 2 white people came out with like their guns? The dude was like in a pink polo or something. That's what I feel. This is what this area is like.
I love your Facebook group around here. Oh, I saw a Porsche Cayenne drive by slowly.
We're going to put speed barrels up. This is a neighborhood where it's got a 25-mile-an-hour speed limit, and that's not enough. They want to put speed barrels up because, people, if we make the speed limit 25, people are going to go 35, so we got to make it lower.
All right.
Dude.
Anyway. Someone just donated. Again, please stop because we're about to end this. Genesis, you just got a Genesis G80 with a 5-liter for $20,000.
That is how you do it right there. That car is baller. The interior is dated, but man, that car is amazing for 20 grand.
Yep. Well, thank you guys. I appreciate all your time and thank you for all the donations for everyone.
They call them speed barrels in the. By the way, they call them speed barrels in the Facebook group. By the way, that's what I'm. Thanks everyone for tuning in. Chin Face is gonna cancel all
Thanks Christopher Dong for moderating this, and hopefully this went better than our last one, guys. Thanks.
Yeah, we're trying to get better at this. Oh my God, Domino's is here.
All right.
How do we end this, dude? Oh, this has got a digi stick. I thought it was a real stick. This guy. Oh my God.
Thanks, guys.